there guys, Dexter here, how's it going? Cool little groove for you today. So we're going to be playing this quarter notes on the hi-hat. So we'd normally be playing like a 1, 2, 3, 4. But what we're going to do is I've got a couple of patterns in here where the bass drums are going to be coming in between those bass drums, in between those hi-hats, which usually causes a few issues for people. So first thing to get you guys started is this, just hi-hat, bass drum, hi-hat, bass drum. See if you can just do singles between them. Hat, kick, hat, kick. And that's just going to spread those limbs in your brain and help make this groove a lot easier to play. And then we're going to do this. We're going to play bass drum and hi-hat together to start this. The first beat of this groove, bass drum and hi-hat, followed by a bass drum on its own, and then we've got snare drum and hi-hat together. So again, there's a little bit of that zigzag between the hi-hat and the bass drum going on within here. So kick and hat, kick on its own, snare drum and hi-hat together. So 1 and 2. That's your first 3 beats. And then, after we've played those first 3, we're then going to go bass drum on its own, hi-hat on its own, bass drum on its own. So again, that separation that's happening within this groove. So up to there again, bass and hat, bass, hi-hat and snare together, and then kick, hat, kick. So 1 and 2, kick, hat, kick. And then to finish off, we're going to go for the snare drum, but I'd like you to move your right hand up to the crash as well to give us a bit more of an explosive finish. So snare drum and crash together to finish off this phrase. So 1 and 2 and 3 and kapow. Kapow. That's an actual number. Did you know? It's not. Anyway, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's where the little explosions are going to be at the end. But the main thing with this groove is that you've got quite a slow hi-hat, meaning even at that speed, that doesn't sound that fast. But if I put all the bass drums and snare drums with it, all of a sudden it sounds really quick. So if you had the hi-hat at this speed, which still isn't that quick, put the rest of it together. So it's one of those grooves you can actually use for very fast songs. Because normally when we play fast, all of a sudden you say a groove like this, as soon as you speed it up, your right hand starts burning out, and you can't keep the right hand up. So the thing to do is play less hi-hats. And that creates this illusion of a faster song, but that limb's not burning you out and, you know, causing an issue and causing a wall that you've got to break through. So just taking those notes out. But it does cause an issue because all of a sudden you've got bass drums on its own, and that coordination pattern just catches a lot of people out. So just be wary of that. So anyway, but yeah, then the big snare drum crash thing to finish. Rock and roll. So there's also a gap at the end. You've got a quarter note, because normally you've got like 8 notes in a bar if you're playing 8th notes. So you'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and there is another beat there, but again, the last note's a quarter note, basically meaning there's a long note at the end. There's a bit of a gap. So you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So there's a little beat there that we're not playing. You leave that gap, let it breathe, let the audience go, oh, edge of your seat, and then you go into the next bar. Okay, you don't need to rush back to the hi-hat straight after that. Anyway, that's the groove. So have a practice with that. Another place that sounds cool, bell of the ride cymbal. So just play the same groove again, but put your right hand on the bell. Sounds very cool, rock and roll. Anyway, I'm going to do a short solo now, just using that in a few different ways, try and put some fills with it and things, yada yada, and it's going to be good fun. Please subscribe if you're new, check out the channel membership stuff if you want to get more into this. This groove is actually based off the hard rock rhythms course that I've got available, which again talks about these quarter note hi-hat patterns and then these bass drums kind of coming in between. So if you like this groove, check out that course, and again, signing up as a member gives you access to every single course I've ever done, lots of really in-depth material, so get into it, and also video response lessons if you don't know what they are. Check it out. You'll figure it out. Anyway, here we go. Solo Dam. And there we go. Have some fun with that, guys. Please subscribe if you're new, and have a wonderful week.